The town of Framingham is a diverse community located in eastern Massachusetts, 20 miles west of Boston. At nearly 68,000 residents, Framingham is the largest town in the Commonwealth and the hub of the Metro West region. I'm Jenny Johnson for Comcast Newsmakers at Suffolk University's downtown Boston studio. The town manager of Framingham, Robert Halpin, joins Newsmakers. Welcome to the program.
Well, thank you. Happy to be here.
So let's talk first about Framingham's residents overwhelmingly passing a move toward transit-oriented development. So what impact do you see in adopting such a model?
Well, one of the first things that became apparent to me when I came to Framingham in 2012 was that there was a significant development opportunity in its downtown. And like many former retail centers, it's been on, kind of a tough road for years. Mm-hmm. But we have this commuter rail station, which has been a tremendous development asset for many communities with similar types of downtowns. Mm-hmm. And one of the questions I asked early on is, why hasn't Framingham seen this type of downtown development that other communities with commuter rail stations have seen, particularly in terms of bringing young millennial residents to live in apartments mm-hmm. within a 5 or 10 minute walk. So we did an exhaustive 2 or 2.5 year part planning, part education, part consensus building effort focused on 3 improvements. One was the development community told us there's not enough density to create critical mass mm-hmm. to really attract investment grade housing. Secondly, that the parking requirement was still very much a suburban-based requirement and really not reflective of a walkable downtown urban environment. And then thirdly, a zoning bylaw that was still requiring a lot of entitlements and permits rather than setting a clear direction of things as a matter of right. So we were pleased last October by a vote of 116 to 10. The Framingham Town Meeting embraced this rewrite of the zoning bylaw, and we're seeing a lot of development interest.
So let's talk about the concerted effort in developing a business-friendly reputation as a town. So why is this necessary, and where's the level of progress?
I think it's essential. Framingham is, as you said, 68,000 residents. It's home to some of the most significant global headquarters in Massachusetts. Bose Corp, Staples, TJX, Genzyme Sanofi has the largest employment center in Massachusetts, manufacturing biologics and biotech. So, it's just, you cannot take business for granted. And the town had somewhat of a reputation for being difficult on the permitting front and a little unresponsive to what the fast pace of business needs are for companies mm-hmm. that are acting globally. So when I was hired, the Board of Selectmen really set a priority that we turn that atmosphere around. And we've gone a long way towards emphasizing time matters to businesses. Certainty matters. The absence of surprise at the end of the process matters. And I think we've come a long way towards resetting that perception.
Recently, Framingham has been invited into the state school rebuilding program to address the school building problem. So would you share what are the next steps?
So the next step is, it's actually the Massachusetts School Building Authority. They run a school construction reimbursement program. We've been invited into the process based on our demonstration of need. We see significant growth in enrollment. Some of our schools are rather old. And the next step is, having been invited in, we take a year now to explore the feasibility, looking at 7 or 8 or as many as 10 options for what's the best school construction project to meet our particular needs. And then we'll bring that to the School Building Authority sometime in the next year and present an option, justify it, and we'll be invited in what we would hope to be somewhere around 50% of the cost of building a new school.
And the town's facing development pressure when it comes to the northwest quadrant of the town, but there's also a desire to preserve open space. So how do you find a balance?
Well, as you said, Framingham's an enormously diverse community. It's very rural. In the northwest quadrant of Framingham, you'll find dairy farms, agricultural farms. Mm-hmm. Callahan State Park is a major state asset. And there's a quality of life there that I think all of Framingham should embrace. It's seeing a lot of development pressure to build homes and build developments without a lot of infrastructure in place to support it. And we are trying to be as responsive as we can to the need to preserve as much open space as possible.
Voters took a historic step, electing a commission to consider a new type of municipal government. What happens next?
So we've just elected 9 members that will go through a year-long or a year-and-a-half-long process of examining different forms of government. Framingham has done this study in the past, and people have decided in the past to retain a town meeting, town manager form of government. And I think most people, and that was 20 years ago, so I think most people view this as a fresh opportunity to look at what is the right form of government for Framingham, with an electorate that really wants to be involved on the one hand, but I think is also looking for a more direct, more responsive decision-making mechanism in how we run our government.
Wonderful. Well, thanks so much for being here today.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for watching Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Jenny Johnson.